With the McNaughton Cup back in its rightful spot here in Mankato, the Mavericks return to the home ice and they get set to open the WCHA playoffs. It's Minnesota State and Alaska Anchorage next on a Maverick Hockey Weekend. Good evening, Don Westfall, Dan McCarter back here in downtown Mankato, where we're set for the first of the three-game series here. Maybe only two. We hope it's only two, obviously, as the Mavericks open up the top seed in the WCHA tournament against Alaska Anchorage, a team that hasn't even been in the playoffs in the past 6 years, Dan.
Yeah, it's a nice turnaround for them just to get there. We want it to be very short this weekend, have the Mavericks just move on. But last time these two teams met, it went down to the final second of the game.
In fact, it did, and that was Ian Scheid getting the game, getting the tying goal with just a second left, and the Mavericks actually getting the extra point in 3-on-3 hockey. Playoff hockey, always intense, always exciting, and this Maverick team is ready to go.
They're ready to go. They want to play fast. We're going to see a fast Maverick hockey team tonight, and that's exciting.
Let's hear from the head coaches, Mike Hastings for the Mavericks, and on the Seawell side, Matt Curley.
What you'll see with their style tonight, as they were over the second half of the season, and Matt Curley's done a really good job at getting this group to buy into playing aggressive hockey. And I don't mean going out and running around. I mean trying to take away time and space. So we're going to have to manage the puck real well because they're going to come at us. They're going to forecheck us with two players. Their defensemen are going to pinch. They're going to try and create opportunities by making us make mistakes with and without the puck by taking away time and space. So our puck management's going to be very important. And then trying to elongate the game, and what I mean by that is stretch it. If they're going to come in and try and keep us in our zone, take the ice that's available, which is the ice that's going to be behind them, and be able to get pucks back there and then try and possess and make them defend when they're in their zone. So challenge, because they're going to be aggressive. They're not going to sit back and wait for us to make a mistake. They're going to try and force us to make a mistake, and it's going to be up to us to be able to handle that pressure.
I know their D-core is as strong as anybody out there in the country, so we have to take advantage of any chance that they might give up, and we need to take advantage of that. And then 3 is just staying the course. We can't win this series tonight, nor can the Mavericks. So for us, it's this is a great opening opportunity to see what playoff hockey's like, and to draw every shift, every time the guys come off, is to draw from that experience with that shift, because as mentioned, tonight isn't going to decide anything. So whatever the outcome of this evening's contest is knowing that we got a chance to do it again tomorrow.
We thank the head coaches for helping us out here with the Maverick pregame show, brought to you, as always, by Coldwell Banker Commercial Fisher Group. And Dan, one of the things that both coaches talked about with us at length here during the pregame show was the importance of specialty teams. We'll bring us some graphics right now. And obviously the Mavericks, if you look at things across the board, they're not only tops in the WCHA, they actually are among the nation's leaders, if not number one, when it comes to penalty kill, power play, all the above.
Well, not surprising. The Mavericks have been really good on all of them all season long. You don't end up in the pairwise as high as they've been all year without being really good at those. But both teams really would like to go 5-on-5 as much as possible tonight, and let's hope it stays that way. But if we get to special teams, the Mavericks clearly would be the favorite.
Special units on the other side for Alaska Anchorage, they actually both on the penalty kill and power play, if you look at overall games, 54th in the country. And the other problem is, Dan, this is a team that actually leads the WCHA in penalty minutes.
Well, they lead the country in penalty minutes as well, so they take a ton of penalties. I got a feeling they're going to try to not do that tonight, but they're going to play physical. And if they play physical with the Mavericks, that's probably the only way they can slow them down. The problem is, if you play physical and slow them down, you're probably going to be in the box a lot.
And also, that gives the Mavericks an opportunity, as it much more physical. The Alaska Anchorage wants to get this Maverick team. The depth, I think, is really going to be key this week.
No question. 4 lines, running 4 lines all weekend long is what Mike Hastings wants to do. If he can go 5-on-5 all evening, run 4 lines, I think he likes his chances.
All right, again, we're coming up Friday night hockey, the first in the best of 3-game series from Mankato. It's the Seawolves and Mavericks next after this timeout. We welcome you to the WCHA playoffs, downtown Mankato, here on a Maverick Hockey Weekend and Flow Hockey TV. Of course, the Mayo Clinic Health System Event Center, the home of this best-of-3 series between the top-seeded Mavericks of Minnesota State, third in the country, and the Seawolves of Alaska Anchorage. And as we just mentioned, making their first appearance in the WCHA tournament in 6 years, Mike Hastings. His club been really in the top 5 all year long, and it took all the way down to the very last game of the regular season for the Mavericks to win the title outright. They had secured at least a tie going into Bemidji State. And on the other side, second-year head coach Matt Curley. Mavericks and the Seawolves, Dan, have only met once in the playoffs. It was Don Rose's last game in this building back in 2000.
That was a while ago.
That was a while ago. Mavericks would go on to lose to the Gophers at the Target Center the following weekend. Their first appearance in the WCHA Final Five at that time. Chris Carlson, Dan, on the left, has got to be a superstar tonight.
No question. He's got to be under 2 goals allowed tonight. I don't think there's any way if the Mavericks score more than three goals, I don't see how the Seawolves win this game. So he's got to keep it down to 2 or less. And most likely 1 goal allowed will give him any chance to win this game tonight.
You just saw Dryden McKay, and we'll have a chance over the weekend to talk about his accolades, not only winning the goalie championship as far as the WCHA, but really his numbers in the top or near the top in just about every significant category in the NCAA itself. So the Mavericks, Toomey up on top, McNeely will shove it down. Michaelis is in the corner. Sauter out in front trying to feed one for Toomey, and it was just poked away from him as he was trying the one-timer. Toomey, Sauter. He has to wait for Michaelis to clear to dump, and then the Mavericks will go off on a change. Just underway here Friday night. And Mankato again, best of 3, and of course as the evening rolls on, we will continue to bring you updated scores from around the WCHA and the other 3 series. One game already getting going up in Michigan, in-state rivalry between Northern and Tech. Sent out of the zone by Heike Verda, and this will be an early icing call. And Dan, while we have a moment, you can bring us the keys for tonight.
Mike Hastings says he wants to control the pace of this game as much as possible. They would like to play 5-on-5 all night long and run. Stay disciplined. The Seawolves take a lot of penalties, and he would like to, when they're getting physical with them, stay very disciplined and don't retaliate at all. Then make University of Alaska Anchorage miss. And that means a miss on the shots, so you get block shots, and also miss when they come up to hit you. Be always moving so they don't get a clean target.
Fry and Jaremko behind the net. Along the boards will be tapped out by Shai. Gerard picks it up. Near side, dumped in by Reggie Lutz. Carlson is back to play it for Heike Verda. Pears to the far side, gets away from Heike Verda. Dallas Gerads is after it, along with Jared Nash. Napravnik. Ammett puts one off a skate and will go the other way. A race for the puck. Ammett quickly gets back. It's poked away from him by Nash, however. Nash will bring it out in front, lose puck possession, and it's tapped out by Napravnik. Back into the zone. St. Ange behind Ammett. Back up on top. Sinclair can't control that pass. Smith, long lead pass. Dallas Gerads will flip it into the zone.
Absolutely no pressure on the Seawolves whatsoever this weekend. They're a team that really has nothing to lose. They can come in and throw at everything that they've got at the Mavericks and not have to be concerned. You make a mistake, it doesn't really matter. The people aren't expecting anything from them. That's a position to be in that is not something to take lightly.
Mavericks almost had a chance with Dewar now breaking it in the second attempt. They almost had a 3-on-2. Dewar fires it behind the net. Connor Mackey. All the way to the far corner. McNeely is there to tap it in. Rivera will get to it first in the near corner. To the point, Connor Mackey trying to send it down for Dewar, but it's picked up by Nolan Nicholas. Mackey with the puck for the Mavericks. Left off now, Reese Smolik. Smolik with a game winner last Saturday night in the championship win for the Mavericks. 4-1 win over Bemidji State. Here's a chance down low. Oh, Toomey probably had a really good look at a shot, was going to give it up, however, for Michaelis. And that pass failed to connect.
I think he was looking for a give and go to Michaelis down low, then get out in front, but he probably had a pretty good chance just looking at it and taking a shot.
Zach Court. That one was Nick Brown. Mavericks to the near corner. Toomey, poked away from him. That shot goes off Smolik as it was taken by Brown. Out at center ice. Pears dumps it back in. Jaremko tapped off the boards out of the zone. Dumped back in by Drace Pears. Shied, long pass, doesn't connect. He was looking to ring it around the boards and clear.
I think Matt Curley likes his start so far.
This is pretty good, yeah. We've actually spent more time in the Maverick defensive zone. Sinclair gets back. Picked up by Pears. Now Lutz, low angle shot, that was blocked, and he's going to go up over the net out of play.
No, they're playing fast so far. They're playing physical, and they haven't made any mistakes so far. So I think they'd be feeling pretty good about what they've done.
Jared Spooner out of the lineup tonight, has been out for a couple weeks. He's out for the season with an injury, and that's a big loss for the Mavericks. And he had really started to heat up both offensively, as you can see, and also had become one of the stalwarts for the Mavericks in the face-off circle.
You worked so long to get through the... Oh, that came from nowhere. Just a face-off. Quick shot off the face-off, and the Mavericks have a lead.
Puck was just sitting there after the face-off draw, still in the circle. Lutz pounced on it one time. The one just fired it through a little bit of traffic. Carlson never moved until it was off the post and behind him.
You could hear the pipe here, and I didn't think it was going to go in, but it dropped in. See it just laying there, and nice job by Reggie Lutz with his 12th of the season, his 21st point. The Mavericks have a one-goal lead.
Just over 4 minutes gone here in the first, and the Mavericks will pick up the first tally of the weekend. Dan mentioned his 12th of the season for Lutz, and boy, it was just an innocent-looking play, but tough one for the Seawolves to give up so early. This is the Mavericks' second shot on goal. Chipped away from the Proudnik and out of play.
You mentioned it's just such an unexpected play there. You know, the face-off is one. It goes about a foot off the dot, and Reggie Lutz sees it. It's just laying there. He jumps on it, gets off a shot, and it's like that. The Mavericks are up 1-0. The crowd is into it. And Don, really impressed with the crowd tonight. With the students gone on spring break, they are here, and it's loud already. So, very nice crowd. This is bigger than many of the crowds we've had in the playoffs in the last couple of years, so that's nice.
Yeah, with the students on spring break, the Mavericks acknowledging that, trying to do some promotions to get people into the building. It looks like it worked. Jaremko getting the lone assist on that play with the winning the draw for the Mavericks. Ika Verda, Buono.
Everybody just kind of froze for just a second, Don. That's all it took.
Tapped out. Race for the puck. Smith will get there ahead of Buono. Smith still with it. Mitchell's now on him. The Proudnik trying to work through a little traffic. The Proudnik with a couple of Seawolves on his back. The Proudnik somehow comes out of that with the puck. Connor Mackey, another low angle shot. That got through. Smith trying to get to the rebound, still loose on the side. The Proudnik will step in for the Mavericks. Back to Mackey, far side. McNeely jumps one, and that one's actually off the leg of a defender out in front. Mavericks will get a new group of forwards on the ice. Doer will carry into the zone. Doer will come behind the net trying to sweep one. Now still behind the net, Rivera trying to pack one in as Carlson has lost his stick. That shot goes up and over the crossbar. Doer with a big hit on Pears, who was trying to deliver the hit. Brown in the corner for Anchorage. To the near side, Smolik trying to get there and holds temporarily. Now lifted to the line and out as it's played by Wicks. That was a nice shot by Doer.
Helpless feeling for the goaltender with no stick. He's not sure where it is. It's directly behind him, so he doesn't really dare go try.
Souter, low angle shot, trying to sweep it out in front. It's smothered and stuffed behind the net. Wicks is there to play it. Poked away from him by Souter. Now Court. Near side for Brown.
And the goalie has got his stick back again.
Brought in behind the net. Still carrying his Fry to the far side. Nicholas, and that one score!
Wow. What a deflection.
Brown was camped right on top of the crease. There was a Maverick on him, but Brown with the deflection And we're knotted up at 1 and not even 7 minutes gone in the first.
Luke Brown, his 8th of the season, his 20th point, and the game is all tied up and just seemed like a shot from the side, and he got a stick on it, and Dryden McKay had no chance on the redirect. Big answer for the Seawolves.
Well, Brown had a 5-game winning streak broken last Saturday night. He scored in now 15 of his 19 games on the season, but right out in front. And as you said, Dan, there was really nothing Dryden McKay could do on the play, and tied at 1.
He had 2 points on Friday night to get that streak to 5 games, and then didn't score on Saturday night, as you mentioned, but he's right in the books tonight again, and we're all even.
Scoring for the Seawolves at 6:56.
McNeely dumps it back in behind Carlson. Sinclair.
And we get back to, again, Matt Curley has to be really excited about this start for his club.
Fed down low. Souter will track it down in the corner. Poked away from him. Sinclair will carry. St. Ange on the far side as it's kicked behind the net. McNeely. Connor Mackey spins away from Nash, and the Mavericks will get set to bring it out to center ice with Michaelis. Michaelis will punch in the corner for Charlie Gerard. Long lead pass out of the zone. Mavericks will have to clear before they can play it. Now Scheid will get there, trying to get puck possession. Be tapped into toward the line, however, and it's cleared back. Zach Rett, the shot. Scheid for the Mavericks. Jaremko. Smolik will bring it into the zone. Lutz off into the corner. Harris has it. Now David Trinkberger. Lutz along the goal line. Jaremko will track it down in the corner. Through a lot of traffic, loose puck. Azarette will clean things up, and here comes Alaska. Anchorage the other way.
I have no idea if Chris Carlson saw that at all, but there were so many feet and bodies in front of him. Somehow it came off him and cleared to the left side, and the Seawolves were able to clear the zone.
Loose puck down low. Just before, that was Wicks who might have had a shot at it, but it's picked up and played out by Charlie Gerard. Hits the referee. The linesman actually on the play, and so the Mavericks can't play it. Trinkberger near side. Sinclair will dump it in.
This certainly doesn't look like a 1 versus 8 at the moment, Don. I assume over the length of the evening we'll start to see it, but at the moment this is a very even contest.
Played past Nicholas, no icing on the play, so a race for the puck. Carlson comes out to make a play for the Mavericks. He's still down low, and now we're going to get a penalty against the Mavericks in the corner. And it's going to be a tripping call. We'll take a break, come back with our first power play of the weekend. Back in downtown Mankato, we're tied up 1-1 here, about halfway through the first period of play, and Mike Hastings, probably not the start he wanted at all, and exactly what the coaching staff with the Seawolves and Matt Curley was looking for.
They've played physical, they've played fast so far, they got a nice rebound, now they got an opportunity to take a lead on one of the top-ranked teams in the nation on their home ice in the opening round. Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty good start for them.
St. Ange held in at the line. Tripping call against Dallas Gerads.
And I don't know, that's not to say that the Mavericks aren't playing well, just they made one mistake and paid for it.
French gets one shot off that's blocked, and he just taps it in the corner to allow 3 new penalty killers on the ice. We talked about the disparity in the penalty units. We're going to keep the face-off in front of the Maverick bench. But again, the Mavericks coming in, top-ranked penalty kill unit in the country. They've also scored 5 shorthand goals. They've only given up 9 power play goals to their opponents, so a little over 91%. The as far as killing off the penalties. And again, the power play for the Seawolves, 7th in the WCHA, about 14.5%. Numbers have gotten better in recent games against the Midgie State and Fairbanks, as that one is lifted out. But they had been 0 for 20 against the Mavericks, Arizona State, and Bowling Green prior to that. Seawolves do not have a power play goal in 4 matchups against the Mavericks this year, 0-11.
Take your power play and your penalty kill, put your numbers together. You better be in at least the upper 100 teens, somewhere around there, to be considered good on both sides.
In on net, and Dryden McKay will make that save. In fact, if you combine all the goals scored on the special units, the Mavericks lead the WCHA. They're a plus 29.
Yeah.
Seawolves minus 17.
Yeah, that's rough. That's the difference between 1st and 8th place in the conference right there. I mean, it seriously is. That's a huge, huge disparity. Heard Lou Nanny talking about last night. Three passes get you an open look, and you'll see it again from time to time tonight. 3 tape-to-tape passes will get you an open look. It doesn't necessarily get you a goal, but that's what you have to get from one side to the other enough and move it quickly enough to have an open look.
Nice job there by Rivera sensing that backdoor pass. He picks it off, carries, and dumps it into the corner. Nolan Nicholas comes back. Still 30 seconds left in the power play. Again, we're 1-1 in the first in Mankato.
Jake Jaremko just took 10 seconds off the clock, though, by defending in the offensive zone. And we've talked with Mike Hastings about that. The NHL is going that way a lot more. And college hockey is probably not far behind. It's almost 18 seconds off the clock now, just pressuring on the Maverick offensive zone.
Wicks played into the zone through a couple of players near side. Dallas Gerads is out of the box, so the Mavericks back at full strength. It's played into the corner for Connor Mackey. Now Dallas Gerads. Left off for McNeil. He's in the circle. Oh, and he had Lutz on the near side, and it went off a skate. Brown, the goal scorer, back the other way. Wicks will float one down low. And a good-looking shot. Save is made by Dryden McKay. We're still 1-1 on a Maverick Hockey Weekend here on Flow Hockey TV. The Mayo Clinic Health System Event Center, the site of this quarterfinal action in the WCHA Tournament 2020. The defending champion Mavericks. They've won it 3 times. And they start their march toward potentially another one tonight, but it's a good start here for Alaska Anchorage with the AC coming in. And again, we're 1-1 with about 8 minutes left to go in the first. In fact, Seawolves out shooting the Mavericks at this point,
which is a real rarity, as any Maverick fan knows.
Souter and
I think the fans wanted to hold there, and
Shackle,
I think they're right.
Yeah, he was all over him, and even Hastings comes over. It's like, how more obvious can that get?
Yep.
But Mavericks don't get the call. Toomey. Michaelis up on top. Zmolik. Zmolik gets past Hassan. Michaelis trying to work it toward the front of the net. Toomey, low angle. Oh, and he was trying to feather over a pass to Souter. Toomey, a couple of unselfish passes tonight when he probably could have had decent looks himself. Now to the far side. Michaelis, and that one comes just through the top of the crease.
That was a great look. A nice pass, and just unable to finish.
Smolik is able to hold temporarily, but it's cleared. Scheid near side. Mackey played off a skate into the zone, and then it's played ahead for Fry, but that pass fails to connect. It'll be an icing call against Anchorage.
And Fry was pretty well gassed anyway, but man, if he pokes that puck away originally, he's all by himself. And then if they get the pass to him, he's all by himself again. And I know he was a little bit disappointed that didn't work out, but he might have been going in all alone on Dryden McKay, which Maverick fans don't want to see at all tonight. And Mike Hastings certainly doesn't want to see that.
Corey Renwick steps in along with Smith for the faceoff. Mavericks get the draw. Mackey shoots one down toward the net, but it's off a leg, picked up by Buono. Ikaverta. Renwick is able to carry out and clear. Dallas Gerard's trying to play through a few players. Picked up now by Smith, and the Mavericks will regroup. Long lead pass for Napravnik. Smith overskates the puck, tapped out. McNeely. Smith puts on a wrister, and that one is kicked out. Napravnik trying to fight for puck possession along with DeGraff. Now Gerard's behind the net. Heike Verda to the far side will pick up and carry. Lifts it out to center ice, and Carroll comes back for the Mavericks.
Love the pace that we're playing at here. Not a lot of whistles, and we're flying up and down the ice. Both teams going pretty hard so far.
Gerard's is able to get into the zone where Carlson comes out to make a play.
In the long run, Don, that has to be an advantage Mavericks if we play this fast for 3 periods.
Drayson Pears to the far side, gets a return feed. Pass does not get through Walker Duer. He plays it ahead for Rivera. Now in the zone, and we're going to get an offside call.
Rivera lost a helmet.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
It might be nothing more than that.
He's not getting up real fast.
No, he got dumped pretty good, I think.
He's got to figure out a little bit of hockey here, too, and put that in the right spot so the helmet fits.
MSU Athletics would like to thank this year's Drive for Success courtesy car
I don't know if he whacked his head or not. He's kind of checking to see if he's got something dripping other than ice from the top of his head. It's hard to tell.
He needs a little repair.
Yeah.
The Mavericks will send out the goal scorer, Lutz, along with Jaremko, who had the assist. Charlie Gerard up front. Mavericks with another win on the faceoff. Smolik, Charlie Gerard trying to get past Trinkberger. Gerard, Scheid, puts one behind the net. Smolik. Lutz tries to bring it out in front, but there was no one home for the Mavericks. It's played out to center ice. Brown set down behind the net. Jaremko. Lead pass, Charlie Gerard tries to bring it to the forehand side, but Trinkberger had played that one well. Pears behind the net for Trinkberger.
It's a bit of a stretch pass that we're going to see a little bit more of tonight for the Mavericks than we normally see. Mike Hastings usually likes to come out without going a real long pass, but this is the opportunity with the way the Seawolves are going to play them tonight that they think they can hit them with some long passes, so they're going to try to do that tonight.
Icing's going to be the call, and we'll take the faceoff back in the Maverick zone with 4:18 left to go in the first period of play. Other action in the WCHA this weekend. First round of the playoffs. As we mentioned, Michigan Tech at Northern. That game already underway. Lake Superior State is at Bemidji State. And then later on, Bowling Green, the 5th seed, will be playing up in Fairbanks against the Canucks.
Shots are 8-7 in favor of the Mavericks. Kind of a low number for the Mavericks as late as we are in the period. And the Seawolves, I think they got to be very happy with where they are right now. I know the score is tied, and you say, well, of course they're happy, but I think even more so just the way that they're playing. They're playing physical, they're playing fast.
Well, one of the questions I asked both coaches in the pregame is, are we going to see the same kind of game that Anchorage put on last time they saw the Mavericks, and it was a 2-2 game. Officially in the books, and actually outside of a literally last second goal by Scheid, it would have been a Seawolf win? Or is this going to be the type of a game where the Seawolves, here's a chance down low, it's blocked. Mavericks have put 7 goals on the board twice this year against the Seawolves.
Well, I think the thing was that the Mavericks were so short-handed that night that a lot of fans thought that was, a lot to do with the game being 2-2, and I tend to agree with them. But so far, the Seawolves playing very, very well. And you would hope, with your season on the line, that you'd come out and play your best, and they are doing that so far.
Gerads, Ammett. Here comes Napravnik. He's got Dallas Gerads. Napravnik down low in the slot. There's a rebound given up. Still a score!
He hung with it long enough. Dallas Gerads with the finish for his 7th goal of the season, and the Mavericks regain the lead.
Mavericks take advantage of a bouncing puck at center ice, and Napravnik carries in, forces the issue, and Dallas Gerads cleans up to give the Mavericks a nice goal here late in the first.
Napravnik kept waiting for the goaltender to commit. He finally goes ahead and puts a shot on, and Gerads with the cleanup.
Dallas Gerads Now 11 points in 11 games. That's his 7th goal of the season.
You can see how Dallas Girard pounded the glass after he wanted that one bad, and he finished. He and Brown are leaning into each other. They each have a goal now.
Yep, and Wicks is going to go on a cross check as he dropped Smith in the face-off circle.
Just a bad penalty. What a terrible penalty to take.
Mavericks will be right back on a power play. They're first of the night, and they're ahead right on the opening face-off after the goal by Drads. You'll see Wicks come up and.
If you need help learning how to do the floss, or if you
I mean, that's just such a bad penalty to take. That's just incredible.
Exactly what the coaching staff did not want, because the Mavericks come in with one of the better power plays in the country, although Coach Hastings talks about it's a group that needs to play a little bit better, have more success. Smith, Michaelis, back to Smith one more time.
Some lucky fans are going home with a gift certificate.
Scheid, down low for Michaelis, out in front. Oh, and Toomey had a tip, and that went just wide. Smith, as the Mavericks will kind of get repositioned here. Smith down low. Michaelis behind the net, and then he tried to feed Scheid, who was sneaking in down the slot, and it hops over his stick, and the Mavericks will regroup.
This penalty could be a game-deciding penalty, to be completely honest. If the Mavericks make it 3-1, it's going to be very difficult for the Seawolves to score 4 to beat this team.
Scheid with a quick shot, and that's wide. Toomey will get to the boards and try to hold. Toomey brings it out. Got a couple players out in front. Scheid looks for an angle. And don't know if Carlson got some of that or not. Out in front still, loose puck. And Carlson very alertly, as the puck was just sitting there on top of the crease, jumps out and covers it up for the faceoff.
You know, and he has no toe picks on those skates, so it's kind of hard to just dive the way he did there. That was a heck of an athletic move by Chris Carlson, the 6'2" goaltender out of Centerville, Virginia, with a dive there for an open puck.
Mavericks 36 for 137 on the year, 26.3%. There was almost another one, the power or penalty kill for Alaska Anchorage. They've killed off 115 of 152 opportunities. The kill percentage right around 75%, nowhere near what it needs to be. But so far the Mavericks haven't scored yet, and they are down to 40 seconds left in the man advantage as Jaremko will take it into the zone. Jaremko behind the net, out in front, trying to feed one. That was Napravnik breaking down, but it was broken up. Charlie Girard behind the net. Jaremko, Napravnik, Connor Mackey. Girard, there's Napravnik. 15 seconds left in the power play. Jaremko, that's off his shoulder behind the net for Lutz. Napravnik near side, Charlie Girard, and off the shoulder of Carlson, he is able to cover up before it hits the ice.
Good pass. Girard handled it pretty well, got off a good shot, but Carlson was able to go from the left to the right pipe and cover it up. I think if Girard could have got that off maybe just a hair faster, he might have had a better opportunity, but kind of had a catch and throw rather than just all in one motion.
Mavericks just 3 seconds left to go in the power play. 1:10 left in the first. Mavericks up 2-1. Whoa, heavy hit as Rivera gets up very slowly. Dewar, Rivera up on top, back at full strength. So we're 5-on-5 right now as Rivera will bring it in between the circles down low. As Molik will try to find one, still loose. And once again with a quick glove, Carlson covers up.
Pressure definitely picking up for the Mavericks. Shots are now 13-7. It was 7-7 at one time, and a lot more action being down in the Seawolves' end over the last 3 or 4 minutes. Obviously, the penalty had something to do with it, but Mavericks looking for one here to really put this in danger for the Seawolves as they head in the locker room. Down 1, you're okay. If it's down 2 really late, I think that makes it pretty disheartening.
Mavericks come out with their top unit of Michaelis between Sauter and Smolik. Mavericks will get this draw. Toomey, Smolik at the point, and then his drop pass is picked up by Brown. Wicks will carry the other way. To the far side, Sauter will pick it up for the Mavericks. Play it off, intended for Michaelis. Dumped right back in by the Seawolves. Hookinson to the far side for Sauter. Molik is able to tip it out of the zone, but Sinclair will fire it in. Loose puck will be picked up, and the Mavericks will have numbers the other way. Michaelis, Toomey, down for Michaelis, out in front, score!
Oh, what a killer. Mark Michaelis with just a little bit of shuck and jive right at the very last second. 5 holds him, and it's 3-1 Mavericks. Just a little bit of a head shake, and that's all it took. Opened it up, and he dumped it right underneath him.
Michaelis, the patience was very nice.
Yep, no question.
A younger player might have gone early, but that's a really tough goal for the Seawolves to give up with only about 8 seconds left in the period.
Parker Toomey with the pass, and you see Michaelis just wait till it opens up, and he dumps it in. 3-1 Mavericks, and that's just a killer. They have so many weapons on this team, and having Mark Michaelis back obviously is the most important as we get into the playoffs.
1952 for Michaelis, his 20th goal of the season. And that is going to be a difficult one for the Seawolves to swallow. They had played so well early in the period. We were tied at 1 after goals were exchanged by Lutz and Brown, but then Gerads and Michaelis for the Mavericks. And it's the Mavericks with a 3-1 lead as one period is in the books for Mankato. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll hear from one of the Mavericks, and along with some other stuff that we have to bring you. We're excited to bring you WCHA hockey from downtown Mankato, where it's a Maverick hockey weekend here on Flow Hockey TV.
Welcome back to downtown Mankato. The score is now 3-1. Your Minnesota State Mavericks are leading the Seawolves of Alaska Anchorage. I'm Marissa Voss. I'm joined by junior forward number 16, Reggie Lutz. Reggie, you get a pass from Jake off a face-off, dish in the back of the net. Was that a design play or kind of instincts?
Just kind of instinct. Just got a good hop off the face-off and kind of got a lucky bounce. Just kind of had a quick shot there and got a little lucky with it.
So there's a definite energy change from the beginning of the first period to the end of the first period. What components went into that change?
I think just playing our game, playing hard and possessing the puck, not turning it over easily, just staying over pucks and taking it to the net.
So there's been a little bit of a pushback, more than expected from UAA. What can you do in this next game to kind of contain them throughout this entire game?
It's a playoff, so we know they're going to make a hard push, and every team that we play from now on out is going to make a hard push, and just stick to our game, play hard, and make sure we're getting our bumps on them.
Thanks, Reggie. Good luck in the second.
Thank you.
Coming back from break, there's going to be some senior spotlight content coming your way, guys. Stay tuned.
Don Westfall, Dan McCarter, trying to get some nutrition in here at the break, Dan. It's been a busy first period. It was a busy first period for the Mavericks as well, because you're going to talk about 3 Maverick goals here in our highlights.
All even strength goals in the first period of play, and it begins with Reggie Lutz's 12th of the season from Jake Jeremko at 4:41. Mavericks up 1-0. Luke Brown, though, with the deflection, his 8th of the season from Nolan Nicholas, and Alex Fry at 6:56 makes it 1 apiece. Then the Mavericks with a couple goals in the final 5 minutes of the period. Dallas Gerads from Julian Napravnik and Nathan Smith, even strength at 16:48. Then just a beauty from Souter and Toomey to Mark Michaelis. Michaelis with the finish at 19:52. And the Mavericks lead 3-1 after 1 period of play. Shots on goal 20-10 in favor of the Mavericks. Attempted are I think those are reversed. They're probably the shots and attempted shots are reversed on that one. And face-offs, Mavericks winning that battle by 13-6 face-off battle. Out-of-town scores, North Dakota, Omaha scoreless in the second. Lake Superior up on Bemidji 1-0 in the second. Notre Dame and Minnesota are scoreless in the second period in their first round action of the Big Ten. Northern Michigan and Michigan Tech are tied at 1 in the third. St. Cloud up on UMD in the second. And Denver and Colorado College are yet to get underway. North Dakota in the pairwise, number 1, Minnesota State, Cornell, BC, and UMD. Those 5 teams are all considered to be guaranteed 100% locks for the tournament. I think Denver is just right on the very edge of being a lock. I think they're like 96% of being in. Penn State, UMass, Clarkson, and Bemidji rounding out the top 10.
Well, it's a dangerous time for those so-called bubble teams because you just don't know how some of these automatic qualifiers, the conference champions, get. But
Beavers get through this weekend. The Beavers are probably okay, but I'm sure they're thinking they've got to get to the championship to be certain that they're in.
And for the Mavericks, the big thing there, Dan,
just stay in the top 4.
Top 4, you get the number 1 seed in that region as you take a look at our pairings here for the quarterfinals. And again,
winner of this series takes on the other Alaska in Bowling Green. So hopefully it'll be Bowling Green.
I believe it's reseeded.
Well, the way they had the bracket sitting there, that's
well,
not the
that
case
would
yet.
be, but I believe the Mavericks will get whoever is the lowest seed remaining. So if it works out according to seeds, it would be the...
Which should be,
yes,
correct.
So we're both right, which is the way we like it.
Absolutely, no question about it.
Oh, and a goalie change already, and that was it was just such a good start for Alaska Anchorage, but after just one period of play, we've made a change already in goalie for
Brendan Perrone, 5'9", 169-pound freshman out of New York. He played for New Jersey, the New Jersey Titans of the NAHL. 0-2-3 on the year, an .875 save percentage, and a 3.22 goals against, and they just figure they got to try anything to stem the tide with the Mavericks putting up 2 very late in the first period of play to get that 2-goal lead.
Well, I will say this, and we talked about it a couple times, but the number of rebounds that Carlson was giving up.
Yes.
We talked about a few times he was able to get out there with a quick glove hand and cover up, but, the Dallas Girard goal would have been kind of just a puck sitting there in the crease area, and, maybe that was part of it. But like you said, there's really no tomorrow because the Seawolves, if they're going to win this series, they're going to have to win tonight. They're not going to, I don't think, come back and win back-to-back on a Friday or a Saturday and a Sunday. So pretty important game for the Seawolves if they're going to try to get through this first weekend.
Matt Curley said neither team will win this series tonight, but I would beg to differ with him. If the Mavericks win this, they'll win this series tonight because they're not going to lose 2 games in a row on their home ice to the number 8 team in the conference. Now, if they should lose tonight, then all the Seawolves have to do is win Saturday or Sunday, and that gets a little bit easier.
I will say this, Nolan Nicholas is a very committed guy.
Yeah, he's going to keep it in the corner.
Which he did, but it's finally dug out by Michaela Sauter behind the net. Now Zmolik, near side for Lutz. Mavericks are going to cycle a little bit to try to get a new line of skaters out. Charlie Girard out of nowhere comes from behind, plays it out in front on top for Zmolik. Low angle shot. Comes wide here to the near side, and it's picked up by Court. Punched out to center ice.
Tough thing being Perrone is he didn't get any work at all to warm up. So he saw very few shots in the warm-ups, and that was a long time ago.
Jaremko tries to carry in, but Heike Verda is there. Long lead pass for Scheid, tap back in. Heike Verda one more time. Smith behind the net. Play down low. Heike Verda. Dallas Girads will float one along the boards. Napravnik for Smith. Smith trying to find a way to get past Pears. Dallas Girads bouncing puck as it got redirected. Kind of a knuckler went in on Perrin, and he's able to kick it into the corner. Now Napravnik is poked away from him. It'll be carried out to center ice by Nazareth, who just dumps it into the zone. Along the boards. Perrin. Now Trinkberger, as Perrin had played it head and out for St. Ange, but it was dumped back in. St. Ange one more time, near side for Nash. Mavericks will pick up a loose puck with Walker Duer. Gets around one in the corner with Drayson Pears. Duer to the far side. Zmolik is off the bench to come and make a play. Zmolik behind the net. Duer fires one down low. It's redirected by French. And it just kind of stayed right on top of the crease. Good look for the Mavericks. Nash is poked away by Toomey, who had just come off the bench. St. Ange with a shot that's blocked. Still in the zone and now poked out with the help of Toomey. Nicholas, far side for Sinclair. McKay is left off along the boards. Mitchell. Played past Nolan Nicholas, and now a race for the puck. Sinclair comes back to help out as Dorr was making a rush for the Mavericks.
If that puck fell anywhere else for French than other than right between his feet, he probably has a goal to make it 4-1.
Masson. Souter. Here comes Toomey with Souter, and it's broken up on a nice defensive play by Heikerverde to get back.
Probably the third time that Parker Toomey has had a chance to take a shot, and he's passed it up.
Aaron left it off there, and DeGraff tips it out through neutral ice zone. Pucks, sticks all over, debris on the ice, couple of sticks. Still one left out there as Hookinson plays it. Wicks lost the puck, and Hookinson picks up for Minnesota State. Jaremko will bring it into the zone, works through a couple of players, just goes wide of the net on the near side, lets down low, puts one through the top of the crease, bounces in on net. Perrin has seen enough of that. He'll take a face-off in the zone. We'll take our first break of the second period of play. Mavericks on top, 3-1. Don Westfall along with Dan McCarger back. You see the series in recent years between these two clubs, and Mavericks haven't lost to Anchorage since February of 2017. See the last sweep, and again the Mavericks 3 wins on the season. And as we mentioned right off the top of the broadcast, these two teams have only met once in the WCHA playoffs, and that was all the way back in 2000 when the Mavericks were a 2-1 overtime winner, and then came back and won the second game as well. That was a 3-2 score, and those two games, the last in the coaching career here in Mankato of Don Brose, which the career would end the following week up in the WCHA Final Five.
Certainly got to appreciate the effort so far by the Seawolves. Just kind of a little unlucky couple of minutes late in the first period is the difference in this hockey game.
Down low, Lutz with a little bit of room to work with, but a nice job there defensively to collapse on the play. That was Fry coming back to help out. Still in the zone. Finally played out, but McNeely will dump it right back in for the Mavericks. Trinkberger. Dallas Gerads just plays it to an open wing. And now it's dumped into the Maverick zone. Mackey with a long lead pass. Gerads controls along the boards. Still in. Smith does a nice job to just hold it at the blue line, and still, wow, how is he able to keep... Did a 360 on his backside and was still able to hold the zone at that point.
That was a little Harlem Globetrotter Curly Neal work right there.
I was looking to hear Sweet George Brown by the band, Far side Napravnik trying to chip it out. Out near the slot area, it's picked up by the Mavericks and played. Smolik behind the net, left off. Nope, still out in front. Oh, and there's a great look down low. Perrin looked like he was going to cover up on the play originally, and then somehow Smolik had it. I saw the puck exposed there a little bit, and really dangerous play and a good effort by Smolik.
No question that Perrin, it sounded exactly, or looked like exactly what you said, is that he was going to get a cover and end up not happening. And that nearly got poked in. The Mavericks working hard there, but Seawolves survived for a moment anyway.
A lot of action out front as Smolik does a nice job coming in on that play into the zone and creating a golden opportunity for the Mavericks.
Seems unlikely when you have a goalie that is averaging 1.3 against, but you're only down a couple goals. You make it down 3 against this club, and it's going to be a really, really difficult thing to come back.
Here's a chance. Dewar down low. Oh, and that one is just one time wide by French.
Boy, they turned that around so quickly into 2-on-1 break. That's incredible.
Lifted out to center ice. Bouncing puck that'll be dumped in by St. Ange. In fact, it went in on net, and McKay has to just hold on with the glove, and he'll take a face off a rare one in his zone.
You talk about turning the puck over and ended up having a 2-on-1 the other way. The Mavericks just did it to him and nearly put this game away at 4-1. Get a look at it right there. Just about.
Right on the near side, you can see Perron had the blocker down to make that save. Renwick along with Michaelis. DeGraff with the shot off the face-off is wide. Hookinson will play it out of the zone, bouncing puck, and here's a chance now. Toomey and Souter. Toomey with a quick shot, and that one is up high. Carroll at the point holds and dumps it behind the net. Trinkberger played off the boards. Masson, and here come the Seawolves 2-on-2. Michaelis is back to help out defensively, and nice job with the stick to poke it in the corner. Souter for Hookinson. Tipped out of the zone by Michaelis. Mavericks will pick it up, and here comes Toomey with Michaelis. He's got Souter down low and fires it right into the covering, sliding Perron, who was there and looked like there was a little right away, but well played by Perron in the net.
No, Brandon did a nice job there just sliding over. As a good 3-on-2 break for the Mavericks that time. Things starting to pick up here. Just the Mavericks applying more and more pressure and getting odd man rushes. The more odd man rushes they get, the more dangerous they become, and they'll get a couple here if they continue to do that. Seawolves is going to have to figure out a way to not get caught back on the defensive end like they have the last couple times.
Lutz trying to feed Jaremko on the far side. Jaremko trying to work through a little bit of traffic as players collide now at the point. McNeely will come back to cover up. At center ice, played to the near side. McNeely for the Mavericks, bouncing puck that no one has control of, and then McNeely on the far side will sweep it to Lutz, who can just send it out near side. Charlie Gerard trying to get it away from Nolan Nicholas. Connor Mackey is back. Shied off the boards. Jaremko to the far side. Poked away defensively, and here comes St. Ange back the other way. Shied, long lead pass for Dallas Gerads. In the corner, Napravnik is after it. Court trying to clear, but Smith breaks that up. To the far side, Buono. Off the boards is out to center ice, and Scheid turns it around.
Mike Hastings told us in the pregame show that we will see some longer passes tonight than normal because he wants to get out and run, and he thinks they can do that in this against this team, and we've seen it a little bit more now the last 5 minutes.
Gerads onto the stick of Napravnik. Napravnik down low, trying to find a way to feed one to Zmolik, and I think the
net
goal
came off.
Yep.
See, to me, that should be interference. Zmolik doesn't have the puck, and he's being held up in the middle of the ice there. That should be an interference call. Didn't happen, though, and it's amazing how often you can do stuff like that in front of the net.
Looks like we have a break. Oh, they're going to leave it here. One of the officials is coming over and say they want to keep the play going and no timeout taken. Looked like the Mavericks, in fact, they'd opened the door to get the ice cleaned up along the boards, Dan.
Well, we're inside 10-minute mark. Usually that would be it, but the net came off, and so we're going to have the face-off to the ready goaltender.
Well, this crowd, you mentioned it right away off the broadcast, and now it's started to fill in as we're at the halfway point of the contest. We'll be well over 4,000 tonight.
I would think so, and we've had nights where it's 1,200 for the first game of the playoffs, so that's a good job by everybody. Sales and marketing and all the fans who showed up tonight.
Pears has a couple of Mavericks on either side of him. Rivera digging at it. There's a swat by French to keep it in. Doer behind the net. Doer trying to get away from Trinkberger.
Seawolves with just one shot on goal this period.
Doer, what a great job just trying to hold possession behind the net to create something. Shows his strength. Now played to the near side. Pears is ahead for Court. Finally out of the zone. Hammett will come back to play it for Minnesota State. Off the boards for Rivera, who will swat it on his second attempt. Still can't get in the zone, but Hammett carries in. Fired in on net. Covered up by Heron on the play. And we'll take another break as the Mavericks still with a 3-1 lead. Acknowledging our veteran of the game.
Talking a real war hero right there.
Also had a nice chat at the first intermission. Ian Scheide's aunt from Kansas City, Metro Kansas City, is in the building tonight with Ian's grandpa and grandma.
Nice.
Don't get up to many games. They enjoy our broadcast, of course, on Flow Hockey TV, but I'm glad to see her. She just wanted to stop by and say thanks for the past 4 years. And,
excellent.
You know, I said, once you're a Maverick, you're always
absolutely.
a Maverick. You can keep coming back and watching us on Flow Hockey, and she indicated she would do that, but she's planning on seeing a few more games, a few more weekends.
Nice. Ian Scheid was in the studio at Radio Mankato with the trophy on, was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. That was kind of fun.
Yep. His Aunt Lori, so that was kind of a nice discussion. We've had a few parents drop by in recent years, especially those of the seniors.
Yep.
Who sometimes those long distances aren't able to make a trip for a weekend series here, and again,
they've always been very gracious
through Flow Hockey TV. It's a nice way for them to be able to kind of stay connected and watch the games live. Connor Mackey.
Sometimes they live quite a ways away, so they aren't able to be at the games, but they can certainly see them, and that's awesome.
Charlie Gerard down low. Oh, and he had Mackey right on top of the crease, but he was tied up defensively on the play. Still in the zone. Charlie Gerard one more time trying to find a way to drag it back and maybe use some type of a screen out in front, but lost the puck in doing so. Zmolik. Jaremko tapped in.
These odd man rushes are coming more often and more often, though, Don, and that's something that you know that they're going to put one away here sooner or later, because you can't just keep on coming 3-on-1, 2-on-1 on the goalie and get away with it.
St. Ange dumps it into the corners. Molik is there to help it along. Nazareth. Now Mitchell. Zach Nazareth one more time. Body's falling. Jaremko has it, and the Mavericks will bring it out to center ice. Shot up high. It'll be sent all the way down, trying to feed Hassan breaking down, but Smolik will also go into the play and nullify an opportunity. Scheid. Carried in by Lutz. Out in front, Smith. Oh, score!
He got the bounce. The original shot didn't go, but it bounced down the back of the goaltender into the net. Mavericks with a 4-1 lead.
Smith got that one so deep in the slot between the circles, there was no way for Ron to be able to come out and cut down the angle. I thought it might have gone in originally, but it must have hit the crossbar and then bounced off the back. Maybe we'll get it. Either way, it's going to be a goal for Smith.
Goal. It either went in twice or once, but either way, it counts.
Smith is 8th of the season, and the Mavericks now with a 4-1 lead. 7 minutes left to go here in the second.
The way Perron acted, it was like he came off the crossbar and then off his back and in.
Scoring at 12:59 of the second
In on
period,
net
his
and
eighth goal of the
covered up by
season, number
McKay.
8, Nathan Smith.
Well, it's a monumental task for the Seawolves now. It was going to be very tough, but to get this one evened up now is going to be very, very tough. Very few teams have got to 4 on this team all year long, and the Seawolves are not blessed with a ton of scoring in the first place. So
Lutz and Scheid getting the assist on that goal by Smith, and big point there for the guy we just mentioned, Ian Scheid.
Ian Scheid, yep.
Tell you about that in a minute when I get a chance. Wicks in the corner now. Andy Carroll still behind the net. It's almost tapped out in front. Wicks one more time with it. Tap through, and it'll be carried now by Doer. Doer to the far side for Rivera. Rivera behind the net will play it out in front, cleaned up defensively by Anchorage. French after it one more time, played in on net, and then Ron will cover up. That point by Scheid now gives him 96 in his career. That ties him for Division I defenseman all-time scoring for the Mavericks. He's tied now with Kurt Davis and Zach Palmquist. Only two players in front of those trio of defensemen. Mike Weinkoff and Dave Satzer, who played for the Mavericks back in the 70s.
That's incredible. 96 is a good number when you're playing defense. 157 games in 90. This is his 158th game. Is 96 point.
At the Division I level all-time, that now ties him for 17th with Kurt Davis, Hayes, and Palmquist one more time. So You're in some pretty high cotton right there. If you can put that number of points on, and Scheid has been one of the steadiest defensemen we've seen in a long time here. Both ends of the ice for the Mavericks.
Got to be completely honest. He was a little bit shy at the radio station.
That's, I think, kind of his nature.
Yep. He was didn't know him well. Know him on the ice.
Toomey with a chance again down deep, and that one went off a skate. And the Mavericks are starting to buzz, Dan.
Well, they've been going pretty hard here for quite a while. It's just kind of a war of attrition where they keep on coming and they keep on coming, and sooner or later the dam breaks and you end up giving up 7 goals, and that's kind of what this looks like it's headed for.
Verda, he picked up off the boards by Zmolik. Lutz is able to score. They're going to wave it off because it was played with a high stick.
He caught it with a high stick and shot it with a low stick. It's
I
a
don't
heck
care.
of a play.
It was still awesome to see.
Yeah. He caught it with a high stick. If he catches it with his hand, that's different. But yeah, he knocked it out with a high stick and then knocked it in.
Just the reaction time. There wasn't a lot of distance between where the play came from. Fans don't understand, but
now they're going to look at it. They're saying play with a high stick. Will they look at it to see if it was actually played with a high stick or not? Maverick fans,
Mike Casey, here's going to be the clearing attempt.
They are not going to look to see.
Well, but
it's definitely high. Yeah, it's high enough.
But it was just still awesome to see.
That's pretty crazy.
Wow.
He caught it and threw it in all in one motion.
Fans should realize if Hastings isn't arguing, and even the players knew right away what was going on.
I mean, you could see it was high. I didn't know for sure if it was going to be high enough or not, but that's a heck of a play, whether it was high enough or not. Yeah, that was something you don't see every day. That's a Sports Center type highlight, even though it doesn't count.
Knock it out of midair. It sets on the ground, and you're able to just one-time it into the. I liked it.
Yep. Gotta say, if somehow he could have reacted quick enough and got a hand up to stop it and drop it down, he would have been able to score. But I don't know if his arm was long enough to get it.
Pierce to the near side. Shackle's able to knock it out of the zone. Nazareth for Fry, and if Nazaret's going to have to clear, it would be an offsides call.
Not certain I've ever seen that before, Don, just like that.
Charlie Girard to the far side. It's broken up by Nazareth as the pass was intended for Jaremko. Nicholas will dump it into the zone. Smolik will come back, left off for Jaremko. Scheid ahead for Lutz, taps it into the zone. Behind the net, Sinclair will pick it up. Nicholas is up high, almost hit our scoreboard. Shot down low, you heard the save made by Kay Sinclair. Will turn around one more time, and Dryden McKay has seen enough. He'll take a face-off in the zone. We'll take a break with the Mavericks on top 4-1. Mavericks on top 4-1 here with 4:10 left to go in the second period of play. See Alaska Anchorage, their first playoff appearance in 6 years, and again, it had been a pretty good start for Matt Curley and his team tonight. They were able to get a quick goal to counter the Maverick initial tally, and we were 1-1 halfway through. In fact, about 15 minutes into the first period of play, but then the Mavericks got a couple of quick goals. That one by Michaelis with just 8 seconds left in the period. Dan, you could just kind of sense right there.
That was a killer. That was just a tough one. And a heck of a play. Toomey to Michaelis, and Michaelis with the finish. Gave the Mavericks a 3-1 lead, and you think that's kind of insurmountable with the way the Mavericks play defense and the goaltending they have, but this goal here to make it 4-1, very, very tough for the Seawolves to come back from, but they're still battling out here.
Dorr dumps it in, gets past Buono.
Walker Dewar's been really good for quite a while now.
McNeely sends one toward the net. Dorr behind the net. There's a shot, a cross check, and that one is.
Yeah, you're going to the box. I can't imagine this isn't going to be 5 minutes. This is from behind and right against the wall. He got up quickly, but.
Yeah, he takes exception to that one on a cross checking call. And
for where that happened and stuff, those are the ones you just got to get out of hockey. That's so dangerous. Now, he popped right up again. They're going to talk about it here. They're putting 2 up on the board. Man, that's just such a dangerous play.
16-16. Mavericks will go on the power play for the second time tonight.
If you want to get that stuff out of hockey, Don, the only way you're going to get it out is make it a 5-minute penalty every time. That's a cross-check from behind right along the boards like that, or, a little bit of ways away from the boards. It's just so incredibly dangerous.
Mike Hastings is kind of questioning the fact it's not a major.
I completely understand why.
So the Mavericks, again, 0 for 1 with their lone power play back late in the first period of play. We mentioned the fact that the Seawolves had not scored a power play goal in the previous 4 games against this Maverick team, as Scheid has it. Scheid one more time. Michaelis will tee up a shot, and that one is kicked out into the corner by Ron. Michaelis one more time. Plays catch with Sauter. Scheid tees up. Score!
Oofta. That was heavy.
Yep, and you know what? Michaelis knows this is what's going on.
Yep.
He got the puck because Scheid now is the all-time leading scorer for defensemen at the Division I level. What a way to put your name at the top of that list. And it's a power play tally for the Mavericks to make it 5-1.
Man, Ian Scheid, that was a bomb. This is an absolute rocket. There's no time for a goalie to react to that one at all. Great pass. Michaelis tees it up for him, and Scheid with an easy finish. And the Mavericks starting to run away with this one.
Mavericks a 5-1 lead. Making power play numbers now 1 for 2 on the night. Carroll. Rivera. Broken up by Trinkberger trying to feed Doer. Out in front. Ron makes that save. Played out to center ice. Michaelis and Sauter each picking up their second points of the night.
Matt Curley were really trying to encourage his team after that goal. He was trying to pump them up beyond as much as he could, saying, guys, don't give up, don't quit. You can't back down. You got to keep fighting.
Rivera, Napravnik, near side. Smolik will play it off the boards. Smoke along the goal line, puts one in. It's right underneath the arm there of Perron, and he'll just cover up and take the face off. Michaelis, for those of you tracking stuff like this, with 2 points tonight, now with 159 in his career, just 3 points behind Matt Leitner.
I've heard of him.
And that'll be then at just 2 points behind Aaron Fox. So Michaelis conceivably has a shot at this record, despite the fact he missed a number of games about a month ago. Smith. Poked away from him, but Napravnik is there. Far side. Amit puts one in down low. Kicked aside. Smith one more time. Nash plays it along the boards. Amit pinches in to hold. Smith and Buono after it. Taylor Lance. Played off the boards. St. Ange will just tap it into the zone. Amit will get back. Smolik with the lead pass. Dallas Gerads drops it off for Napravnik. Napravnik gets toyed there with Lance. Still Napravnik with it. Penalty coming up against the Seawolves. And as it's played by Nicholas, we're going to get a hooking call against the Seawolves. And the Mavericks will go right back on a power play, having just scored with the extra attacker.
They just keep on coming and keep on coming. They just keep on pressuring you. And there he really had to hold on, otherwise he was going in all alone on the goaltender. So you grab a hold of a waist and try to slow him down a little bit and take your chances on the power play or on the penalty kill. But Julian Napravnik was coming right in on his goaltender if he doesn't do something.
Mavericks will have 1:34 left to work here in the second before time would run out if they do not score. So roughly around 26 seconds will carry over into the third. Mavericks with that 5-1 lead as it's cleared off the faceoff.
18:26 of the second period, 2 minutes for hooking.
Napravnik, Charlie Gerard near side for Lutz. Lutz can't handle that pass cleanly, and the Mavericks will regroup. Jaremko there gets a return feed, shot down low, loose puck, and just before Lutz can get there, it's swept aside defensively. Charlie Gerard up on top, Jaremko. Mavericks will now get set up on the power play. Lutz puts it off a body, still in the slot. That one's off a body yet one more time. Charlie Gerard. Lutz for Jaremko. Connor Mackey, Jaremko. Lutz tees up and doesn't get all of that one. Into the corner, Sinclair can't control. Up on top, Mackey is able to get there before out of the zone. Jaremko, and then it's poked away. And now it'll come out with about 22 seconds left to go in the second. Charlie Gerard, far side. Toomey will carry in, weave around a couple of players. Still has it. Trying to feed one down low for Charlie Gerard. Shied with just a couple seconds left. Toomey tees one up. Oh, and it kicked out before Napravnik could get a rebound. Another shot in on net, and the horn blows. And again, we'll carry over 26 seconds of this power play into the third. But the Mavericks extend their lead here in the second. Goals by Smith and Scheid. And it's now the Mavericks a 5-1 lead after 2 periods of play. We will take a break. We'll come back for the second intermission in downtown Mankato, where it's a Maverick hockey weekend. Here are the WCHA playoffs on Flow Hockey TV.
Welcome back to downtown Mankato, where the score is now 5-1. Your Minnesota State Mavericks are leading the Seawolves of Alaska Anchorage. I'm Marissa Voss, and I'm joined by freshman forward number 8, Nathan Smith. Nathan, you guys started off a little sloppy, but are maintaining the puck really well throughout this game. What's led to that change?
Coach came in, just said we got to be more aggressive, just be better in the offensive zone, keep shooting the puck, and get the puck slow. So.
You guys have held UAA to minimal shots on goal. What's been the keys to such lockdown defense?
Just defending. That's all we got to do. Just be strong defensively, have all 5 in a picture, and have our forwards back check. And it's a group effort. So.
You had a beautiful goal out there. What components went into such an amazing goal?
I was just coming through the middle, and Reggie made a great pass. I don't know. I went through the guy's legs and just caught it shot.
Thanks, Nathan. Good luck in the third.
Thank you.
Coming back from break, we'll have some more spotlight content coming at you guys. Stay tuned.
Just about ready to start the third period here in Mankato on a Maverick hockey weekend. Don Westfall along with Dan McCarter. It was a 1-1 game halfway through the first. We thought things were going to get interesting, Dan, and then the Mavericks a couple of goals late in the first to make it a 3-1 game. They extended to 5-1 with a couple more goals here in the second.
Goal number 4 was Nathan Smith, even strength from Reggie Lutz and Ian Scheid at 12:59 to make it 4-1. We'll look at it right there. And then Ian Scheid from Lucas Sauter and Mark Michaelis at 16:43 to make it 5-1. And the Mavericks with a 5-1 lead after 2 shots on goal are 32 to 11 shots on goal and a 48-17 attempted. Those are reversed. Face-offs won 25-12 in favor of the Mavericks. You see the penalty minutes there. Out-of-town scores, Omaha up on North Dakota 2-0 in the second period of play. Lake Superior up on Bemidji. No, that isn't right. Bemidji State is up 2-0 on Lake Superior State in the third. I know that to be true. Notre Dame leads the Gophers 1-0 in the third period up at Mariucci. Tech has upset Northern Michigan. That's a 6 and a 3 in the opening round here. St. Cloud and UMD are 1-1 in the third, and Denver and Colorado yet to come. Take a look at the pairwise rankings, Don, and Mavericks, as long as they continue to win, they'll get one of those top 4 spots, and that's all we're concerned about. I don't care if you're 1, 2, 3, or 4, as long as you're one of the number 1s going in, that gives you the best chance.
See it kind of jammed up there with 4 teams tied for the 4th spot between Boston College, UMD, and Denver, and of course Bemidji State. We talked about that back in the first. We have the commission in the building right behind us, and they would love to have 2 teams in their national tournament.
So Michigan Tech takes on Northern Michigan in the first game of that series at Northern. They'll have the rematch tomorrow night. The Beavers up on Lake Superior State. Bowling Green and Alaska, and then Minnesota State and Alaska Anchorage. Mavericks get the lowest seed after this round, who's still surviving.
So a little bit of an upset, you would say, as far as the seeds, but I guess I can't say I'd be totally surprised if Tech is able to win that, just the intensity of the in-state rivalry.
And it's a 6 and a 3. It's not a 1 and an 8. You know, it's a 6 and a 3. That's a much more close battle during the regular season.
Those are two teams that were only 6 points apart in the standings.
Which is 2 victories over the entire course of the season.
Exactly. So Mavericks back to work here. They'll come out with the 26 seconds left to go on a power play, but really at this point 5-1. And the Mavericks seem to be in control.
Seawolves down 4 goals, had 4 shots on goal in the second period. That just tells you pretty much everything you need to know.
Off the draw, won by Alaska Anchorage, and they send it down the ice. Mavericks. Rivera out in front. Here comes Doer with the chance, and that one is save made. Again, goalie change after the first period. Chris Carlson started tonight. Now Brandon Aaron is in the nets. Seawolves back at full strength. At that quick shot followed up there. French will tee it up. Probably had a better opportunity on the rebound than he did the original shot, but both are really good by Rivera.
You heard the clank on that last shot there. He just missed it.
Actually, I think it was Josh French who was coming down on the play. Charlie Gerard. Smolik. Scheid will carry. Jeremko behind the net, trying to feed Gerard, but he was tied up on the play. Wide Ammett. Jeremko puts one in on net that's kicked out. Long lead pass, St. Ange. Brown on the far side. He's got the lone goal tonight. Here's a chance for St. Ange. Back up on top. Pears, and that one. Initial save was made by Dryden McKay. A little bit of a rebound, but he quickly covered up on the play.
Looked like it stunned him a little bit when it hit him. You caught him in the chest, and it looked like hurt him a little bit. And Dallas Girard just kind of scampered off. Not exactly sure what's injured with him, but
I did not see it either.
He went down the tunnel, and he's bent over. Looks like he's in a bit of pain right now.
There was a stick and a glove on the ice, so maybe he got.
Boy, if he got chopped and hurt, that would be a shame. He's been playing incredibly well.
Has a goal tonight, and again 11 points in his last 11 games, with 5 of those being goals.
He has not gone to the locker room yet. I can see him where he is.
Sauter dumped in. Michaelis is after it now with Pears. Sauter along the boards. Tap down for Michaelis. Hookinson puts one into an open corner. Now behind the net for Michaelis. Hookinson looking for a tip. It's behind the net. Picked up by Pears. Sauter and Trinkberger in the quarter. Sauter pulls it out. Here's a chance out in front, bouncing away from both Toomey and Michaelis. Brown with the screen and a nice glove save, just tipped away.
McKay was sliding to his right, and the shot came to his left, and he barely got a glove on it, just enough to knock it wide.
Ammett will get to the red line, but not far enough to avoid an icing call, and the Mavericks will have to take the face-off in their own defensive zone. We're back tomorrow night, as we'll take maybe a look here at what. Yeah, he took a shot from the clock, and he
I saw the glove down, so now we know.
Yep.
That's not good. I have not seen him come back on the bench so far.
So here he comes.
Here he comes right now.
In fact, they just taped him up.
Yep.
Ooh, that had to sting.
Yep, not fun. Hey, he looks like he's got his wrist taped up, but looking for his glove, looking for a stick, and hopefully he'll be ready to go.
Dubrovnik and Rivera after it. Marcus Mitchell.
He might have a bag of ice on that. I think he does. I don't think he's coming back tonight.
Carroll. Smith. Trying to feed one for Napravnik. Smith one more time, couldn't take the pass that was between the skates.
He's got a glove on and he's got a stick back, so that's good news.
He's one tough dude.
Yeah. Yeah, that absolutely hurt.
Carroll, Rivera, Ikaverta, able to clear. Masson has taken away. Rivera dumps it down into the corner. Doer's after it. Doer down low for French, unable to take that pass cleanly. Doer, and here is one Dallas Gerads. Smolik off the board, trying to feed one for French.
Poetic justice says Dallas Gerads should get a goal here.
Dumped out to center ice. McNeely turns it around. Renwick. Off a skate. Seawolves are going to have to wait to bring it into the zone. In fact, they'll play it all the way back into their own defensive zone. Nazareth. French will pick up the loose puck. Hammett. Scheid. Played ahead for Trinkberger now on the Seawolves. Drayson Pears lifted into the zone. Hammett for Minnesota State. Off the glass, ahead for Dallas Gerads. Charlie Gerard now down low. Full control as the Mavericks get some new skaters on the ice. Fry picks things up for the Seawolves. Played out for Lance. Lance trying to work around Carroll on the play. He'll just dump it in. Hookinson takes a hit on the back along the boards, and that's got another penalty coming up, and we'll see if they only go 2 more minutes on that. They're going to say that's a boarding.
Yeah.
Yep.
Be interesting to see here again.
Shackle's going to go, and Mike Hastings would like
Mike Hastings wanted to call before and didn't get it. I don't know if he's now they're saying 2 minutes again. Get another look at it here. I don't know what you got to do. I don't know what you got to do to get 5-minute major. That's the second one. That's the second one. If you want to get rid of it in college hockey, you got to call that. That was square in the back. Face first into the wall.
It's a 5-1 game, so it's time to kind of send the message that we're not going to put up with that this weekend. But Shackle's only gone for 2 on a boarding. The Mavericks will go on their 4th consecutive power play.
I'll bring it up in the post game, and Mike Hastings won't want to talk about it, rightfully so. But there's a couple times now that I think we could have had a 5-minute major, and if you want to get that stuff out of college hockey, the way to do it is to call the 5-minute major.
Carroll, French, Rivera. Poked away as it was attempted to be played out into the crease, and then Fry pokes it out. Wicks unable to gather up puck possession to create a shorthanded opportunity. Doer. Played now to Wicks. He carries to center ice. Still has it. Working against McNeely on the play. Doer. Mavericks will just kind of gather up possession, get some fresh power play guys on the ice. They bring out the top unit tonight with Smith, Toomey, and Michaelis. Smith behind the net for Toomey. Michaelis back to Toomey. Michaelis up on top, Scheid with a goal. Toomey far side, Michaelis tried to one-time one, and he partially fanned on the play. Michaelis, near side now Scheid. Toomey, there's Scheid one more time. Michaelis couldn't take the pass cleanly. Toomey, he'll move to the slot down low for Michaelis. Out in front, tip attempt by Sauter goes just wide. Scheid. Down low for Sauter, and then it trickles just wide of the net. Out in front, score!
Nice work, Souter to Toomey. Toomey with the finish. The Mavericks just kept on grinding and grinding down, and that was the difference. If you keep going to the well, sooner or later it's going to go in, and they did it there. Lucas Souter from behind the net out front to Parker Toomey, and Toomey with the finish. He's got his first goal of the night, and the Mavericks take a 6-1 lead.
Nothing really Perron could do with that one as Souter from behind the net is able to find an angle, and Toomey was ready to take that pass, one-time it, and the Mavericks score a couple of goals, both of them power play goals to make it now 7-1, or 6-1 rather, sorry. And we will take a break. Mavericks on top again. Mavericks on top, 6-1, nearing the halfway point of the third period of play, and you can see where the Mavericks coming into the weekend, where they finished up their regular season again, leading the country in penalty kill percentage, also goals against per game. And the Mavericks, even contest through the first 15 minutes, but then Mavericks with a couple of goals near the end of the first, and they've been in control since. A couple of power plays. They're 2 for 4 with the man advantage.
We're talking with Mike Hastings before the game about the ridiculous numbers that the Mavericks have put up defensively. And Lou Nanny was talking about it last night in the state high school hockey tournament, that it's really difficult to put up those kind of numbers usually. But if you don't let the other team have the puck ever, like the Mavericks don't do, it gets a little bit easier. They play such great team defense, but they control the puck offensively so long, and they have it so often, and I mean, they just dominate the puck so much that it's a little bit easier to put up numbers like that. But those are absurd numbers that the Mavericks put up defensively, and they're scoring really, really well as well.
I had missed one of the assists on that last goal that went toward Toomey. Again, his 14th of the season. Souter had one. Well, Mr. Michaelis now has 160 career points with the three-point night. He had the other assist on that power play tally to make it 6-1. Mackey ahead now for Smith. He'll carry into the zone. Drop pass for Connor Mackey, has it poked away. Head for Wicks, but he can't get the pass, and Carroll is there for the Mavericks. Carroll ahead for Smith. Ikaverta turns that around. Here's a chance now. The way Brown with one goal tonight comes back and is stopped.
Man, that's a nice save.
Bryce McKay, and then Brown, as McKay had it covered up, took a shot getting at it, and they're going to send maybe Brown or Zmolik. Who's going to go?
I think Zmolik's going to go for the little poke at the end there.
And Zmolik's going to say, what about the guy, the poke that the other guy took at my goaltender?
I understand, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but it was the last one that they finally raised a hand and said, yeah, that one's the one that's going to get you.
Take a look at it afterwards here.
And I don't think they were even going to send him there, but that was the one right there that they're sending him for.
So Kay covers up. Yep. Brown had his stick in there, and then Zmolik.
And Zmolik gets the penalty for that one right there. Now their timeout is called by the Seawolves.
Seawolves realizing that if they have any shot at getting back into this game down by 5, somehow they need to convert on. The power play will be just their second power play of the night.
Like the officials were looking at something but not taking an official look at anything at all. So 2 minutes up on the board.
Again, we're back tomorrow night, as you see where the Seawolves rank nationally, pretty much at the opposite end of the spectrum, given the fact there's 60 teams that play Division I hockey. We're back tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. They're actually 6 o'clock to face off here, and then it's actually going to be an hour earlier if we get there on Sunday night. And then you got to throw daylight savings time into the whole thing. We know we're back tomorrow night. It's a 6 o'clock pregame show. 6:07 is the face-off here, Central Time Zone Game 2 between the Seawolves and the Mavericks.
Alaska Anchorage, you add up their power play and penalty kill, they're at an 893. And again, you want to be somewhere over the or 8.93. You want to be somewhere over the 117, somewhere around there, 118. So there, you can see there's room for improvement. You add the two of them together.
Officially a roughing call on Zmolik. Brown trying to play it on top of the crease. He gets one more chance. Then it's blocked by Rivera. Verda gets there first. Played down. This could be, an icing call against the Seawolves.
Just a killer on a power play. You ice the puck on a power play. It's going to cost you 20 seconds on the clock after the face-off. I mean, if you're lucky, it'll only cost you 15. But type of things that just can't happen when you're down by 5 goals against a really good team.
Juremko will step in for the draw along with Wicks. Fry gets there to take it away from Lutz. Now Brown. Wicks brought into the zone, bouncing puck that no one has, and finally Lutz gets there and sends it down the ice. Verda. Near side for Wicks. Far side, and that one is off post, or did he go off piece of the equipment? I heard a clank.
I don't know. I think that might have been a stick. Dryden McKay had to go a long way to make that save if he did.
Swept out of the slot area by Hookinson after the initial play. Now that one is cleared actually off a player in the Maverick bench, and so the faceoff's going to stay in the Maverick defensive zone. Still 50 seconds left to go in the power play.
Nearly midway through the third period, shots on goal in favor of the Mavericks, 38-15. At one time, it was 7-7 shots on goal. Mavericks ended up leading after one period, 14-7. Out shooting 18-4 through the second period, in the second period, so 38-15 now.
Carroll, the Pravnik, still behind the net. Now McNeely will pick up loose puck. He'll play it off the boards.
Point being, Don, is after that good start by the Seawolves, 31-7 shots on goal in favor of the Mavericks since that point when they were 7-7, and it's a 1-1 hockey game.
Nolan Nicholas will drive it into the zone. Carroll gets there ahead of Lance. To the far side, Nazareth. Nicholas back, Nazareth one more time. They play catch. Play down low. Carroll takes it away as they were trying to feed.
Mavericks full strength.
That looked like it was Zach Court on the play. Mavericks back at full strength. So the Seawolves 0 for 2 tonight with the man advantage. And the icing call will take the faceoff all the way back into the Anchorage zone with now 9:42 left to go in the third.
Talk with Mike Hastings after the game, and every Monday morning at 9:10 on the Morning Blend on KTOE with myself and Mike Sullivan.
Three guys who know a little bit about hockey.
Well, I think I like to say that I know the least out of the three of us, but
Doers tries to sweep it out into the crease, but it was blocked defensively. Doer yet still with the puck. Doer left off now for Rivera, back for French. French fans on the first attempt, and then a bouncing puck that Lance will just dump down the ice. Mavericks will go back, and it'll be another icing call.
Well, good crowd tonight, Don. Hopefully we'll have an even bigger crowd tomorrow evening for that earlier start. And the thing that you know about the Seawolves, tomorrow night it's do or die for them. Season comes to an end if they lose. So they absolutely will have to throw everything at the Mavericks that they have. And you know that they're hoping for a better end of the first period. I mean, they played really well up until probably 15-minute mark of the first period. It's a 1-1 hockey game, but after that point, it just got away from them.
Lifted out to center ice. Scheid will come back. Michaelis. Pears. Ahead for DeGraff. Ammett. Mackey. Souter. Off a skate. Michaelis will track it down in the corner. Near side for Toomey. Connor Mackey. Hookinson down low. Sauter had an opportunity for a tip. There's Michaelis looking for an angle. Connor Mackey will score.
That was a laser, an absolute laser. He just slid a little bit to his left to open it up, and the goaltender, Brandon Perron, had no chance. He was on the left post trying to slide to the right side. When he got open, he was able to finish pretty easily. Connor Mackey, with his 7th of the season, his 24th point.
You'll see Connor Mackey had a lot of net to work with, had time to settle the puck, bring it down, control it, and
just snapped off a wrister, and that was no chance whatsoever.
Ron just could not get there in time to make the play, and now we're up to a 7-1 score. Mackey, his 7th of the season at 11:28.
I said this had 7 written all over it, Don, and you knew it'd get there sooner or later.
Hukinson drives it into the zone.
28 of the third period, his 7th goal of the season, number 2, Connor.
Loose puck, Fry trying to clear. Be carried now by Heike Verda.
Number 21, Lucas Sauter. Mackey from Michaelis and Sauter at 11:28 of the
Mavericks back to work one more time. Behind the net, Smith after the blast from the Pravnik up on top. Zmolik, Carroll unable to control that play. Mackey with the goal. Sauter and Michaelis on the assist. Both of those guys, Michaelis, 4 points tonight. Sauter's got 3. Actually, he's also got 4 all assists.
Well, we've heard Mike Hastings say in big games so many times, you need your big knockers to come up and play big, and they certainly have done that tonight.
2 guys that are going to receive strong consideration for postseason honors, potentially Rookie of the Year and Player of the Year in the WCHA. And with the 4-point night again, as we continue to watch some of these scoring charts, Michaelis is now 161, just 1 point behind Matt Leitner, and a penalty coming up.
They're going to call a hook, I believe. It was not much of a hook at all, but they're going to call it anyway.
Mavericks played for Lutz, and then the Seawolves will just touch it.
Oh, they're going to call a slash.
And we'll come back with another Maverick power play, and they're in control 7-1 on a Maverick hockey. Action call against Nolan Nicholas.
Little tap in the rear end. I thought they were calling that as a hook, actually. I think it was just one of those deals where they say, let's not do that anymore. That money's falling from the sky.
Yeah. Oh, hey, don't hit the equipment now, everybody. Maintain control.
That was my money that I let go.
You let it go, and that was mine that I just let go. So it's the kind of people we are, Dan.
Darn
we just
right.
give and give and give. Zmolik, Mavericks 2 for 4 on the power play tonight. Gets past one, brings it down, and bouncing puck is Duer thought he had a chance on the rebound, but it's cleared down the ice. Hukinson, near side Rivera. 1:20 left to go in the man advantage as Hukinson has to come back.
This big lead in the final 6 minutes, you just don't want to get anybody hurt, and you don't want to get sloppy. Finish up strong. Napravnik
into Charlie Gerard, who was up somewhere in the uniform as he was able to kind of control things. Carroll. Hammett, one-timer down low, trying to feed Dallas Gerads, and that's sent down the ice.
Down to 45 in the man advantage.
5:40 left to go in the third. Napravnik ahead now, carried in by Charlie Gerard. Napravnik takes the hit, still controlled a little bit now. Dallas Gerads and Masson. And then nice job there getting a stick on the play and sent down by Mitchell.
Mavericks just too much for the Seawolves tonight, Don, but you know that tomorrow evening is a new game and season on the line for Alaska Anchorage. They're going to have to bring it real seriously tomorrow night if they want any chance to get one more game out of them before their season comes to an end.
Vera. French Dorr. Back up on top for McNeely, and that pass failed to connect.
Shots were 7-7 at one time. Now 43-15 in favor of the Mavericks.
Carroll picks up the big rebound. Another shot, and Braun will hold on for that save. And Don Westfall and Dan McCarter back in downtown Mankato. Mavericks on top 7-1, looking to close out game 1 of this best-of-3 series. And then again, we'll be back tomorrow night. Mavericks with a number of guys hitting the scoring column a couple times tonight, led by Sauter and Michaelis, each with 4 points as that shot in to the zone, and McKay makes another save. Mavericks out shooting the Seawolves right now 45-16, and again, Dan, it was
7-7 at one time.
7-7, and it was a 1-1 game with about 5 minutes left, and everything was going the way that the Seawolves wanted to go, but this is how quickly things can turn. And
shots are 38-9 since that time when there was 7-7. Just think about that.
Off the draw, controlled by the Seawolves. Nicholas will just dump it off the boards, looking for a Karam. Hookinson, near side, as the Mavericks unable to clear. Carroll pokes it away from Lance. Smith behind the net, lifted off all the way down the ice on net. Ron has to play it, and he'll play it ahead for Lance, who carries into the zone. Trying to look for a rink-wide pass, but it's picked up by Napravnik. Smith has it. Off for Dallas. Trads out in front. Rebound is there, but it's swept aside. Great look for the Mavericks.
That was a 2-on-none.
Score!
Jack McNeely with the finish, his 4th of the season. That was almost too easy, but the one earlier is one where you don't see very often 2-on-goal like that. But Jack McNeely makes it 8-1 Mavericks. There's just so many weapons.
Mavericks, we had marveled just at a great opportunity, but then they come back in a nice cross-ice pass, and there's really not a whole lot Brown can do with this one. It's just kind of one time by McNeely, as you mentioned, Dan, his 4th, and the Mavericks on top now, 8-1. Schrinkberger has it behind his own net.
His 4th goal of the season, number 3, Jack McNeely.
In the corners, and Ange trying to force it out. Ahmet and McNeely on the assist at the goal. 16-29 for McNeely, his 4th of the year.
I'm guessing that combination has never happened before.
He's probably correct. Dorr with the shot, and that one is off the back dasher. Near side. Cleared out of the zone by Brown. Hookinson back.
No whistles for the next 2:45. Let's finish this thing up.
That is Lutz will pick up the pass and dump it back into the zone. Stick with us, as obviously after the contest is done, Dan will kick things off with the post-game show and have a chance to talk to Coach Hastings. We'll see if we can get you an update of the scores around the WCHA and the first night of quarterfinal action as well. Nolan Nicholas. Sinclair. Played just wide of the net, but McKay will play it left off for Hookinson. As everybody's listening to Dan's words, will we have an icing here? Yeah, unfortunately.
Darn it.
Too close, Dan.
We're hoping.
2:01 left to go.
We were hoping. It's a long time to play without a whistle.
Well, we will see how much Alaska Anchorage has in the tank, because they played so well early on, and as the game has gone on, the depth and the talent of the Mavericks is just taking over, and yet they're going to have to come back. And, you know, Coach Hastings, one of the things that he's mentioned over the years is that attempted shot by Buono never got off. Ending someone's season is the toughest thing to do because, as you mentioned, they're going to come out and throw everything they can at him.
And human nature says the Mavericks will show up tomorrow thinking this is going to be easy after an 8-1 win tonight.
Okay.
So you got two things going, and they could certainly have a turnaround tomorrow evening that makes this a much closer game than it is tonight anyway.
Face-off will stay in the Maverick defensive zone.
But if it was 8-1 tomorrow night, it wouldn't surprise me at all because that's the difference between these two hockey teams. There is that big of a difference.
Mavericks nearing 50 shots on goal here in the contest, just one short of that. Court will dump it behind the net, but Carroll picks things up for Minnesota State. Carroll back in his own zone as the Mavericks control. Dallas Gerads. Gerads behind the net, up on top for Carroll. Carroll gets one down low and puts one on net for the 50th shot, but it's into the glove of Braun. And I guess maybe that's one of the biggest questions, is not knowing if maybe Carlson was sick or something like that, getting pulled after the first period of play. Who does Matt Curley come back with tomorrow night?
Yeah, I don't know that it matters that much one way or the other. Just who does he feel had the best night? Who does he normally go to? I mean, the junior, obviously, Chris Carlson has played many more games. Do you give the freshman a start in the playoffs? So he's got one under his belt.
Sinclair will tap it into the corner. Down to a minute left to go in the contest. Shackle along the boards will try to play it, but it's dumped into the corner by Rivera for Carroll. Carroll left off for Ammett. Doer left off. Here comes French, who gains the red line and dumps it in. Nicholas is back. Nolan Nicholas will flip it in, just wide of the net. Smolik will come back to play it for the Mavericks. Sinclair unable to hold the line, so he'll dump it back in. Hookinson with 20 seconds left. Marcus Mitchell with the shot that's tipped wide by DeGraff. Lutz flips it out to center ice, and that's actually out of play. And we'll take a face-off with 11.5 seconds left to go.
Out of town scores. Post-game highlights and more coming up in just a few minutes on Maverick Hockey Weekend.
Michaelis tonight with 4 points on a goal and 3 assists. Sauter with 4 assists tonight to lead the way for the Mavericks. A tight contest early on that, again, they got a couple of late goals in the first after Lutz and Brown had opened up the scoring at 1 each. The horn blows, and the Mavericks with goals by Gerads and Michaelis to end the first. They kind of rode out the remaining 2 periods of play and controlled things throughout. And the Mavericks tonight open up the quarterfinal series here with Alaska Anchorage. It's the Mavericks 8 and the Seawolves 1. We'll take a break. And when we come back, Dan McCarger will have a chance to talk to Maverick head coach Mike Hastings. That and more coming up the postgame here on a Maverick Hockey Weekend in Flow Hockey TV.
Final score this evening, 8-1, Minnesota State Mavericks over the Seawolves of Alaska Anchorage. As you're hearing the players of the game being announced right now. And Mike Hastings, congratulations on a very sound opening win in the first game of the WCHA playoffs.
Thanks, fellas. I thought, they kind of came out for a street fight and put us back on our heels right away. I think if Dryden wasn't as sharp as he was, we could have been down. So it was nice to see us get a lead. then they made their push, and I liked the way we played over the second and third period.
It was a 1-1 game with about 5 minutes to go. You got 2 goals late in the first period, and I thought that really seemed to turn the tide for your club, and then you really got going in the second and third periods.
Yeah, it's momentum, and like I said, they came out, and I thought they had the better of the play early, and I think shots were 5-5, and as it went on, it was a 1-1 game, and then I thought we did a real good job of not finishing on the period and getting our second one, and then I think a real important goal was the last one that we had in the first period where Mark finished.
Pleasantly surprised the crowd for this opening round with the kids out of school. A lot of times it hasn't been full. The building was really loud tonight and very full, and I know it'll be even bigger tomorrow night, and that makes a big difference to this team.
Everything. We play all season to have an opportunity in the playoffs to play at home. And as you just referenced, in the past, we haven't had the support that we had tonight. So I want to say thank you from our entire group and look forward to hopefully seeing everybody back and a couple more tomorrow.
We've talked about this a number of times. When you're trying to finish a team's season off, you're going to see everything that they've got. We know that the Seawolves are going to be better tomorrow night. Yeah,
they will be. I mean, we're going to have a reset. And again, like I said, I mean, you guys watched the first 10 minutes, and I thought they had the better of the play. So we're going to have to learn from that because they're going to have their backs against the walls trying to extend their season, and we're going to try and end it. So it's going to be an important step for us tomorrow, and we look forward to the opportunity.
Congratulations on a really nice victory tonight.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Final score this evening, Mavericks 8, Seawolves of Alaska Anchorage 1. We'll take a break and come back. We'll have highlights, out-of-town scores, stats, and more on Maverick Hockey Weekend.
Don Westfall, Dan McCarger, working through the unique confines of the Mayo Clinic Health System Event Center, and the Mavericks tonight with an 8-1 win in the end of the contest here. Dan, obviously a very impressive performance for the Mavericks. You just heard the discussion you had with Coach Hastings. Seawolves came out and played the kind of game they were looking for the first 15 minutes, but a couple late goals in the first, and then the Mavericks just controlled play throughout the rest of the contest.
Yeah, I tell you what, we were saying midway through the first period, this does not look like a 1 versus 8, but we assumed it was going to get there. It got there, but it took a while. The Seawolves were very good, and as we mentioned just a minute ago with Mike Hastings, tomorrow night they're going to throw everything they've got because they have no choice. The season ends for them if they lose tomorrow night, so you're going to see them at their very best tomorrow night.
Mavericks with 3 goals in the third. We're going to bring you those highlights here as we've taken a look at the other goals during the intermissions.
So Parker Toomey from Lucas Souter at 6:47 gives the Mavericks their 6th goal of this evening. And Connor Mackey, his 7th of the season from Mark Michaelis and Lucas Souter at 11:28, makes it 7-1. And Jack McNeely will finish off the scoring, his 4th of the season from Julian Napravik and Wyatt Ammett at 16:29. That made it 8-1, and that's the final score. Shots on goal there, you see 50-17, attempted 70-27. You see the block shots. Mavericks 2 for 5 on the power play, 0 for 4 the Seawolves, and the Mavericks win the faceoff battle 38-20. Out-of-town scores, Omaha 4-1 over North Dakota in the third period of play. Bemidji State is up 2-0 in the third. The Gophers lose to Notre Dame 1-0 tonight. Michigan Tech with an upset over Northern Michigan. That's a 6-3 in the WCHA playoffs. UMD beats St. Cloud tonight 4-1. And Denver and Colorado College are coming up.
And, of course, one more game you haven't seen listed there, but the fourth of the quarterfinal matchups, about set to start not too far from now, up in Alaska. And we'll, of course, bring you that final score tomorrow night when we're back here. And, again, Dan, Mavericks 8-1 winners tonight. Really no reason at all that they should not close this out. They're the better team.
Yes.
Alaska will come out and give them everything they have, but if the Mavericks play their contest with that solid defense, you have McKay back in the nets who really wasn't tested too much tonight. Mavericks should be able to close this thing out.
You would certainly assume so. Show up and play the way you have all season long, and you're moving on to the next round. That's all you want to do.
We'll see if the Mavericks can pull through on that. Again, we're back tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, the pregame show, 6:07 from downtown Mankato on the Central Time Zone for everyone up in Alaska watching. We're glad you're with us, however, here tonight. And again, the Mavericks control this one. A couple late goals in the first, and they end up with an 8-1 win tonight, defeating Alaska Anchorage. For Dan McCarger, myself, Don Westfall, and all the students from Bethany Lutheran College, we thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow night for Game 2 in this best-of-3 quarterfinal series.